The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Ah, crap. Bigger than you.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hello, everyone. It's 4 a.m. once again, and that means it's time for the 4 a.m. podcast, where me and my friends watch movies from our past and see how they hold up to our older, more cynical selves. I am your host, as always, Tony, and joining me today is...
Brian.
Rob? I'm Joe, and I like your ass. I'd like to wear it as a hat.
But Joe, you're already wearing an ass hat.
Never have too many ass
She had no
hats.
butt. She had no butt. I know.
And we're derailed immediately.
Listen, Brian, it's white men in the 90s,
I could tell.
and that's all.
And if you can't tell from all that, we are doing City Slickers from 1991, also known in France as Life, Love, Cows, or in Greece as So What Did You Do in the Far West, Dad? That's what it translates to, folks.
That's amazing.
I life loved some cows.
It was directed by Ron Underwood, who brought us fan favorite from this show, Tremors. He also did Heart and Soul, Speechless, Mighty Joe Young, and The Adventures of Pluto Nash, and then a bunch of direct-to-TV movies and TV shows.
Yeah, after Pluto Nash, they don't let you direct these.
That is correct.
He totally
And you're done.
stole the canyon scene from his own movie. I don't remember which one came out. Which one came out first? Tremors or... Yeah, Tremors came out in I don't know. Which one came out first?
I don't remember.
Tremors came out first.
Okay.
That was episode 2. It was like a long time
That was
ago.
episode 2, yeah.
Tremors came out a year before this, so yeah, he just reused
Oh,
the
yeah.
canyon scene. Tremors was the movie he filmed while scouting for this one, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so what's your personal history with this movie, Rob?
I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I think the most recently, this past summer, I watched it.
All right, Joe.
I think I saw this once in the theaters, and I remember liking it, but
All right, Brian.
I saw this movie a bunch of times as a kid. I love this movie. I don't know. I liked it a lot. I saw it with swears, without swears. I remember seeing it on Showtime.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I don't really think with or without swears really changes it all that much.
No, not really.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw this when I was young. I think I might have seen it somewhere around there since, maybe on TV or something, but I never really thought much about it because when I first saw it, I was too young to really get a lot of the jokes. I thought Norman was cute, but it was about it. So a brief history of this movie. Robin Williams was considered for the role, or a role, I should say, in this movie at one point, but he was committed to doing Hook at the time, so that was a no-go.
he was going to be Norman.
He would have done it too.
Yeah, he would have.
They would have had to shave him a little bit, though.
Just a little bit.
Rick Moranis was also going to be in the movie in Daniel Stern role, but he had some family issues
He was
to take care
originally
of.
going to play Curly.
That was when he stopped acting at that point, right?
I believe that was when.
Yeah.
It's some family stuff. But though Jack Palance was the person in mind when this role was written, he originally couldn't do it, so they talked to Charles Bronson, who apparently very roughly told them to go flip themselves off because he
gonna
didn't
be
like
in
that
your
the character
cowboy
died.
film. Huh?
He didn't like that the character died,
I don't die in my movies, pal.
I guess.
I'm the one that does the killing.
Daniel Stern declined writing lessons when preparing for this role because he wanted to be more convincing at being a bad horse rider, like you do, I guess.
mean, that's...
I just want to not die on the horse. So
Yeah.
And Billy Crystal's story about his favorite day with his father and going to the baseball game is all just totally true.
yeah, that was it. That was for real.
Yeah. He does, in fact, still have that pamphlet or whatever you call it.
Yeah, because the way you know it's true is because the whole movie, he's a Mets fan, and that story will make you a Yankees fan the rest of your life. And so you can tell that that was not from the movie, that was his own story, because otherwise it would have been Shea Stadium and not.
I was saying when we were watching it, I wonder how much extra they had to pay him to get him to wear the Mets hat.
Actually, well, yeah, that there might have been some lies and all that because he is a diehard Yankees fan.
Yeah.
But the reason he was wearing all Mets stuff is because this was at the height of Comics Relief, and I don't know if it's like a manager or the Mets in general or a bunch of the players, but they continuously donated quite a bit of money, which is why he decided.
Are you sure he's not just colorblind? I just saw the New York sign. And...
Oh, they're different.
All right, I don't.
They're different.
I don't know how. I don't know how your bowling works or whatever that game is you're talking about. Okay.
Foosball.
Fast hands foosball.
So, does anyone want to guess at how much money this movie cost to make?
$27 million.
3 cows and a bottle of scotch for Jack Palance.
More than 3 cows on the screen at once.
No, but those were for him.
Those were Jack. I'm merely talking.
Okay, we're itemizing my actors.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So, what is your total, Rob? Let's get to the total.
I want those cows in my trailer.
That's not a total. It's totally creepy.
That's $40 million.
$1.
That was a good try, Joe, but unfortunately, Brian nailed it. It was $27 million.
Word?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Nice.
Wow.
Just, I mean, like I rounded up a bit, but like you can. Well, I'll show you in a
I
moment.
can't
But
see
it's
from here.
$27 million. Exactly.
We'll take your word for it. I just...
Does anyone want to guess how much it made worldwide?
I'm guessing $60 million.
My generosity knows no bounds. I'm going to say 100.
$1.
She was in $2.
Nice try again, Joe, but I'm afraid everyone underbid here because it was $180 million.
Wow, I made that much.
Oh,
Yeah, worldwide. It was
Okay.
124, I think, in the U.S.
I figured it's like triple this money, not like a whole lot.
And they got a sequel out of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
One could
Jack-
say it was a cash cow.
Oh,
you could.
God.
Did you guys miss me?
Joe,
Here they come.
I almost want to hit you, but I missed you. So like,
You'll notice I'm sitting as far away from you as possible right now.
That's because of the smell.
Hey, also, because
yeah, I'm a little gassy today,
A little?
little bit.
You got to think about
The
how
cows
much,
in this movie were a little gassy.
You got to think about how much money it would make to make a sequel so good that it would literally take Jack Palance out of his grave.
you know, for a movie about driving cattle, we really didn't get any kind of good cow fart jokes.
I am not sad about that.
Yeah, no, I'm totally cool with that myself.
There was not a poop to be seen in this film.
There was.
Was there?
I believe there was when they first got to the ranch.
Oh, would it want to step in it or something?
No, it was just in the background. But
Oh, wow. That's... yeah, okay.
there were no poop
I mean, that's
jokes.
just because you can't film at a cattle ranch without there being poop somewhere.
Yeah. But
So, this movie stars Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern, and that Mario-looking guy that nobody remembers being in this movie.
Yeah,
I believe his name is Ed Furillo. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the character. That's
is-
Bruno Kirby.
it's Bruno.
Also stars Patricia Wettig as Barbara Robbins, Helen Slater as Bonnie Rayburn, and Jack Palance as
himself.
Skeleton.
This one talk with his pretzel in my mouth the whole time.
that's what you call that. Okay.
It's a pretzel, Brian. Just because it's shaped like a penis, they don't make it one.
Was it a real voice? Was it a real person?
What do you think it was?
Did that come out of your mouth?
It sounded like she was vibrating the whole time.
It sounded like someone that was making a costume, a pretend voice from a character from a TV show, and like I don't even know how. That's what it sounded like.
Oh, yeah. A union show next door.
You still haven't watched Big Mouth yet, have you? But one of the characters in Big Mouth sounded like that. Like that's what I was like. Is that a real person?
Well, I'm pretty
Brian,
sure.
if you ask me one more time.
I'm gonna ask you every fucking day, every day.
Brian, you seen that Infinity War trailer yet?
No, not yet.
Rob, you seen Baby Driver yet?
I have, actually.
Yeah.
The baby
Um,
drives
no.
the car off a cliff because it's a baby and it can't reach the wheel. It dies horribly.
No, that's Boss Baby. It's totally different. All right. So
that's my review of Baby Driver.
since I'm pretty sure the listening audience didn't catch any of that, none of that means shit to anyone. But yeah, there apparently was an SNL character being developed in Rob's hallway here.
Also, a special guest star this week is The Fly. So far, Rob has been defeated by it in the first encounter.
I tail whipped him in the kitchen.
It's led to the death of Rob's beer,
It did lead to, well, not death.
almost the death of Rob's laptop.
Almost, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to de-stickify that later.
So the thing you don't normally do. Never mind.
No,
Never mind.
no, Brian, no.
He lets that coat on.
It's protected now.
It's a glorious sheen.
So we should probably start
City
talking about this movie.
Slickers.
What?
We start with the running of the bulls.
Spain, they got their holiday game up. Like, I don't know where they come up with this stuff. But they're like, all right, here's an idea for a celebration. We'll just get a bunch of people. We'll just sick bulls on them, and they'll run for their lives. It'll be awesome.
They were like, all right, let's come up with a holiday. What do we got?
Pile of tomatoes. Just throw them at each other.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
They were like in the planning committee, and they're just sitting there surrounded by bulls with like baskets of tomatoes everywhere. They're like, I mean, I guess we could. I don't know. You want to feed tomatoes to bulls? Does that sound like fun? Like, no, that sounds kind of dumb. You want to? I don't know.
Wow, your face.
Exactly. And then the bull gets upset and starts running around the room. And they're like, run away. And there you go. Legends are born.
Sure. So that's happening with Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern, and Bruno Kirby running for their lives.
It's Mitch, it's Ed,
And Phil.
and Phil.
Sure it is. Never gonna remember. So anyway, they're running, and because this is like some kind of tradition, we find out they do this every year, or
They do
every
something
so
crazy
often.
every year.
Yeah, Spain does do that every year.
Ed always has these ideas to do like things to prove you're alive still. So like he wants to do skydiving next and stuff.
It's like a slightly tamer jigsaw.
That's quite the jump.
I guess.
That's quite the jump.
I guess. So,
That's one way to
Right.
put it.
so Danny Glover's just like following them around, not understanding what's going on the whole time.
All right, next year, you're going to come in my basement. I'm just going to make you run through a gauntlet of barbed wire.
Yeah, is that the third movie when Billy Crystal just completely refuses to go on these trips? He just kidnaps him and like puts him in like some weird bear trap around his head and forces him to feel alive.
He's got to get a key out of Daniel Stern's intestines. This franchise really took a dark turn.
Yeah, for sure did.
Bought you flowers. You didn't appreciate them.
All right, so they're running.
Yep.
Also, wait, quick note for all those listening.
Running from themselves.
Remember this note for our next episode. Anyway, continue. What?
Wait, what?
Never mind. You'll find out.
So
Continue.
they're running, and then the Bulls run off Daniel Stern, Phil's character. They run off Ed, and like they're still chasing Mitch, and like he gets a horn in his butthole, like legit.
Just
Like,
bull right to the ass.
that's how you end the scene. He's going like, and the horn in his butt.
Smash cut to a
Really?
dumb, boring cartoon.
Yeah, really weird cartoon credits.
Really slow.
So on that
Yeah.
note,
90s.
not only is the opening cartoony like weird, which I remember as a kid, I was cool with it, but the music for most of the movie is the same kind of like I'm at Disney, like I'm at Disney in the theme park.
Hoop-de-doo review.
Oh yeah, about to get on a
yeah.
ride somewhere, like it's that whole kind of like like
Dun,
yeah,
dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
it's-
dun, 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 dun.
It's not good music.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like the whole movie. There's a few scenes that like to pick up the seriousness of it, but like the whole movie that's happening.
John Williams, this is not.
Right, because then it would sound exactly like Star Wars.
So amazing.
Listen, I didn't say it was bad. I'm just saying, play random clips of his music and try and tell what's what.
And
It gets muddled.
Have an opening credit sequence that takes forever.
Sure did.
Yeah, much like this podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we cut to the doctor's office. Billy Crystal's getting his ass sewn shut by a surgeon that can't speak English.
Because why not?
He pulls off a sick photobomb.
Yeah, that
though,
photobomb
at
was
the end of that. Right when he's about to take the picture.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
He understood English enough for that. Yeah, so whatever. They go home. We cut to a year later. It's his 39th birthday. Billy Crystal's, I should say. He gets the annual call from his mother. The same old nonsense. And, he's just feeling kind of like complacent and trapped in his life. He's got a mediocre job that's not too impressive to anyone.
He has what constitutes problems in the 90s.
Right. He doesn't even have a mediocre job. He's got a good job. He's just been at it so long.
He has a wife and kids.
Well, it pays well, but it's not very interesting
Fulfilling.
or exciting or fulfilling. Or as we find out from a lovely scene where his son, a very young Jake Gyllenhaal, making his debut into films, brings him into class. Huh?
I did not notice that.
Oh yeah. Right after this burly construction worker tells a lovely tale to
This
the
guy's
class.
amazing. This guy's amazing. The story he tells, the way he tells it, it's fucking amazing.
This bitch.
He's calling like people stupid bitches. He's swearing. Like it's
He
just
threw a few shit words in
Yeah.
there too. Like about this woman got her legs crushed by a crane.
This freaking bitch over here got her legs crushed because she was bitching around all over the job site.
You get the superhuman strength sometimes.
Yeah, the lesson is don't go where you're not supposed to. You might get your dumb little shit selves crushed.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, not be somewhere where people with superhuman strength can lift the crane up. Don't do drugs.
Drinking drugs, stay in work, don't do school. You can get work.
Milk. All right.
Say no to school. So, yeah, he gets up there. Well, his son tries to introduce him as a submarine, but he's like, no, I purchase advertising.
Yeah, the submarine thing is just one of my sexual fetishes.
How to go deep sea diving, you know what I mean?
One of my many.
I prefer the glass bottom boat.
But yeah.
Down Periscope, you know?
He's giving the class this whole spiel about how much he just basically hates his life. Maybe not hates, but you know how just unhappy he is.
Spoiler: this movie is about a midlife crisis. That's
Yeah.
what this, which as a kid I didn't realize.
Right.
Yeah.
White middle
Well,
class.
this is again. I didn't get
Yeah.
any of this, but
And it in that regard, I feel it has not aged well. In that it's like, jobs. Like we're all pushing 39 and we work tail. Like
I was like,
So
I
how
feel
is
you.
it not aged well?
Yeah, I'm like, I
where are
feel
you going with this, Joe? Because I related with a lot of this.
Yeah.
Well, back, I'd take a well-paid job that I could have a house in the city and afford a family and all that. Like,
Well, yeah,
I just got that like last month.
I was actually envious of him because he's talking about how miserable it is. I'm like, yeah, I have all that except less money and no wife or kids.
Yeah.
So
That's what I mean. He's like, oh, I have all these problems. Shut
I mean, in all fairness, it's the 90s, so chances are he probably couldn't afford the house that he lived in with his kids, but he had one of credit that
It's
the market.
it's the Bush Jr. 90s, so yeah. Clinton hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, like he hasn't got to the point where
We were like the late 90s.
where the market crashes and all his money's gone. Like he'll be at the bank with that guy talking about, well, I just gave you options. You chose wrong. Fuck you guys.
It's like, dude, do you see me right now? I'm Jack Conan O'Brien. I will kill you.
yeah. I came here to ask you the best option, and this is what you do. Anyway, enough about that.
So he launches into this horrible summary of what like awaits these kids, and like your 20s go by, and I forgot exactly what he said, but like basically he just sums up your entire life, says it sucks, and then you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much just you'll have a lot of fun in your 20s, which will go by very quickly. Your 30s, you'll have a family and a mediocre job, and then you'll be wishing you were back in your 20s, and then you'll just get slowly older and more decrepit until you die.
More crap.
Yeah.
But thankfully, after he brings everybody down, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog comes up because he's one of the kids' dads. I'm not sure how that worked out, but so he kind of smoothed everything over.
Yeah. Like he's that guy where like at your job you never want to say more than hey, because the minute you say how you doing, he unloads all this
He'll be
bullshit
like,
you don't want to hear.
let me complain at you for a while.
It's like fuck. I'm supposed to say hi, keep it going. It's hi and out like hi.
Now I'm on suicide watch.
I had that happen to me in one of the stores I was in. I would say hello to and I would ask how you doing, and she would start crying. I'm like fuck, fuck, like every time.
Sorry if you're listening, by the way.
Just not listening.
No, he's just sorry to all of the listeners.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a blanket statement.
You made it this far. I'm sorry. It's not going to get any better.
Just to backtrack for a quick moment, just shout out to return from Jeffrey Tambor, who plays the boss in his job, returning to the podcast. But
What else was he in?
Hellboy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And,
I forgot
and
we-
heavyweights.
Oh, that's correct.
Oh,
I
wow.
forgot about that one.
My goodness.
Fucking punches Ben Stiller right in his face.
Well, he should.
So it's Mitch's birthday, having a party. His friends all come. This party is amazing, by the way. I mean, I want to have been at the party, but not involved in the party. I just want to watch the bullshit that happens.
You like to be
You
behind
did.
like a two-way mirror.
right. Because it's had
Observing the party.
to be amazing.
Just chain smoking back there.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know, it's eating snacks the whole time, just eating. But
You're gonna have some of these hors d'oeuvres and watch the chaos happen.
so at this party, his friends get him 2 weeks at a dude ranch to herd cattle across state lines, whatever.
and what is a dude ranch for those
You're
listening?
gonna be like cowboys and stuff. Like, you ranchers, whatever.
Yeah, get to pretend you're a cowboy for a
Yeah.
while.
I mean, I guess people like that shit, whatever. So, well,
Brian, after you played Red Dead Redemption, you would have done that.
no, I told at one point I wanted to ride horses, then I did it, and I was like, fuck this. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, but you want to walk around in chaps with a 6-gun.
He just said anyway.
But if there was a
That's
camp
my
where
free
you could
time,
like just ride by on a horse and throw a lasso at someone and just drag them
Drag him around.
Not so much
Zombies and stuff. Like, but yeah, so they give him this gift. He's like, I can't go because my wife wants to go to Florida to see her parents.
Wait,
I promised her.
I'm sorry, but yeah, it's kind of a fuck you. Like, I know that it was well intended, but we got you this trip for your vacation that's coming up, and when you have 2 weeks off or whatever in a month or whatever it is, like as if you just certainly wouldn't have plans.
Yeah, it's like
That's
we
kind
didn't
of a
bother to
shit
check
move.
with
Well,
your wife. To
Here's
see.
the thing: if all you do is bitch and complain about your life, they're gonna assume you don't have plans.
I guess, but
Like, my thing is like he doesn't want to go. He can tell he doesn't want to go. His wife's nice excuse.
Yeah.
But like he probably has said no to everything that they proposed. So like why would this be any different? Like why would this be any different? Of course he don't want to go. Of course.
Right?
yeah, I told you I didn't want to do the parachuting. I don't want to do this.
I would have been like, Ed, why does everything you want to do involve cows? I just took a bull up by the ass.
yeah, that'd be the other thing. Like, I've had enough cow for a while.
How about skydiving with cows?
You have a very small target. You have to land on the back of a cow. Like, why with the cows?
You just hold the udders.
Stop with the cows.
Parachute.
So in the middle of this, we get an interaction with Phil and his wife. His wife sucks.
His wife sucks.
Like she just sucks. And she's like, Daddy's a little girl, whatever. Found out her dad owns a grocery store where he's the manager of, where Phil's the manager of. Phil hates his wife, hates her dad. All of a sudden, the door rings. And Mitch is like, all my friends are here. Who the fuck is this? I mean, he almost says that exactly.
Just about.
It's just about. And we see Bart Simpson
Simpson.
Lisa opens the door. Lisa Simpson, the woman who does her voice.
Yeah, no, it's like
Yeardley
Who
Smith.
Framed Roger Rabbit. Lisa Simpson. Actually. Like, I know I'm still a child in the cartoon, but you know the show's been on long enough. Legally, I'm 30.
You're Lee Smith.
It's
sorry.
weird because like everybody else in the Simpsons cast does voices for their
Right.
characters, and for Yeardley Smith, it's just her
Just her
voice.
voice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nancy Cartwright kind of just sounds like Bart, right?
Not really.
No, I think she
puts it
she
on.
sounds like a woman.
yeah.
So
like
does
an
Bart.
adult woman. Nah.
And doesn't Nancy Cartwright do other voices too? Like I think Yeardley Smith's the only one that does just one voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Either way.
the closest to that would probably be Marge. She only does Marge. She might just sound like Marge. But anyway.
So how the hell did Yeardley Smith know he was here?
She said the assistant manager told her where he was gonna be tonight.
Yeah.
Which my first side note, like, why would you pick this place, this awkward situation to come and vent what's going on? You could pick a better put.
And just yell your problems.
Yeah, like,
across
that's
the
what-
whole party.
Because you're 20 years old.
Yeah.
No,
She's
Brian
freaking the hell out.
at the party is loving this. Like, this is amazing.
He was like, I was thinking about going. But pass me the chips. We're
Right.
staying another 15 minutes.
Brian's like, am I going to open a third beer? Yes, I am.
am.
All right. Yes, I am.
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for.
But she's like, he sees her and he's like, oh shit. She's like, I gotta talk to you. In that voice that only she has. Real loud, piercing, cuts through silence. And she's like, I'm late. He goes, all right, well, for what? I don't know. Late for work? I don't know. Why are you here? Who's on Reg 9? Like, why are you here? Like,
Who's on register 9?
said
Yeah,
that, like,
that's the first question: is who's on registered now?
Granted, I've known
She appears
people.
to have left in the middle of her shift.
yeah. So apparently
but-
she's pregnant. She knows because she
She
used one of the
says.
tests from work. She used in the back room. It came out blue. He's like, fuck. And his wife's like, why is she telling you this? He's like, I'm her manager. She get her health plan coverage. She gotta tell.
Not
His
buying
wife's
it.
like, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not buying that shit.
like
I won't buy that for a dollar.
just priceless. And I'm glad like they don't linger too long on it. Like they yell back and forth.
They have a good explosion.
Yeah, but they don't go on with the party. Just after this party just ends, like they show the party being over. They don't tell how long it took, whatever. But just to be in that room.
Another side note: I love the line, if hate were people, I am China.
If they were a number of people, I'd be China.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
So, yeah, his life's in shambles.
And like, it's weird because like it's kind of framed in a way you want to like feel sorry for him because the situation sucks. But I'm like, dude, this is your fault.
It is.
This is all your fault. You cheated on your wife, so that's what you get. But like, like no one feels bad for you right now. Like, sorry, dude. Like,
Joe's really making up for lost time there.
yeah, his ass missed his microphone.
Yeah.
Brian, can you get some of yours on there?
No, I'm trying to not shit myself. So
Yeah, but it'd make me laugh.
I mean, you've spilled beer on your floor. Do you want shit on your floor too?
I mean, at this point,
just wants to
I gotta
be-
clean the floor either way.
He wants to be in like a fart sandwich between the two of us.
No, I got the candle.
Yeah, Joe's ass is a diva. It's going to take up enough of the mic. We don't need anything else.
All right.
Piece of rectal diva.
So,
At the party, now it's mentions wife alone, and I guess she picks this time. Now, this is just me personally feeling weird. Like, so far, this movie, all we've seen is him going through some shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's confused. He don't know what's going on. So his wife takes this moment to make it about her, and she's like, what did I do to make you different towards me? Like, you don't want me anymore. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm going through some shit. Where'd you get this from? Like, she's like, but like, you just want all this other stuff. You don't want me anymore. Like, I make you feel lost. He's like, no, you don't. Like, it just why now? Why now? Why does she pick now on his birthday?
Because of the situation that just transpired, obviously.
yeah, she's worried that he's going to end up like Daniel Stern, whoever he is.
Phil.
Phil. All right, she's worried he's going to end up like Phil because she knows he's unhappy, and he knows, well, she quote unquote knows how guys think, which is if I'm not happy at work and I'm not happy at home, I'm going to be happy in my crotch. I believe is how that translated.
I think that's exactly what she said.
Yeah. So she's worried he's going to start screwing around, and she doesn't want that. So, yeah, she tells him to take the 2 weeks to go with his friends, do this cattle thing, and quote-unquote find his smile.
Like, the worst part about that for me was, like, she's like, you're mistaking me. You're making it sound, you think that I'm saying, I don't mind if you don't come. No, I'm saying, I don't want you to come with me. And I'm like, well, fuck.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck? I already feel like shit as it is. Now my wife's telling me she don't want, like, what? Are you serious? Like,
I also wait, quick. I also they said, go find your smile, and he's like, well, what if I can't find it? And she's like, well, we'll jump off that bridge when we come to it or whatever. But it's like, what if he does and he finds that he's happier without you? Like, what is your plan here?
So, all right. So let me play devil's advocate here
okay.
a little bit. So, I mean, if you lived with somebody, and I'm gonna grant, yes, her timing was not on point. All right.
She only had like 90 minutes of movie to work with. She was only in like half an hour of it. She didn't have a lot of
It had to
choices.
have
This shit's gonna move quick, folks. Come on.
But if you live with somebody who's like constantly just throwing themselves a pity party, it's like it starts affecting your life, and they become just a bummer to be around if all they're going to do is complain about everything and see everything as a negative situation.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes heavy. That gets heavy to deal with. And yeah, so she was like, I don't want you there because you're just going to make me miserable the whole time because you're going to be miserable the whole time.
Well, listen, I already said I could stay home on Christmas. If this is how you're going to tell me you don't want me to come,
No, but
get it.
I just want you to go be a cowboy for a while and stop being a bitch.
Or we can go practice to be witchers. We can
Yeah.
Go, I'm saying
Or learn
4 a.m.
Quidditch.
podcast meets Geralt.
Right, everybody?
I am not playing Gwent. I don't care.
But it's fun, though.
No, it's not.
Everyone, write into the 4am podcast at the4ampodcast.com. The 4am podcast at gmail.com. Let us know if you think we should go to Witcher Camp.
Yeah.
Is that
Also, you need to
to
buy like probably at least 1,000 t-shirts to make that possible.
Or Quidditch camp, which we could just do in the
Well,
field behind my apartment.
Yeah, I'm not saying
With
we
some
will go.
brooms.
I just want the audience to weigh in on if we should go.
Oh, why would they say no to that?
I'm saying, like,
But if you guys buy enough T-shirts, we'll record it. It won't be. It will not be. It will not be a legit
100
Witcher
times
camp.
each.
It'll still be in the field behind my apartment.
If our 5 listeners want to have enough of our
No,
t-shirts,
we're up like 20 now.
to clothe them for the rest of the year, we might actually be able to afford them.
Well, if one of them does like that guy that put on like 100 t-shirts, all with our t-shirt, that could probably...
Whoa. What if I just put on 100 pounds and try to fit a t-shirt over myself?
Isn't that
could
what
probably
you're
be an
doing
entertaining
now?
video to watch.
I don't even know where I was going with that. All right, so
So
Isn't that what
All
we're
right.
doing right now?
back to this scene. I don't know. I think it's just growing up pretty much being depressed as the entirety of my adult life, but it's like I just really had trouble identifying with this dude. I'm like, boo hoo, why don't you celebrate what you do have and shut up?
well, I mean, yeah, but the same could be said for everybody.
True.
This got heavy. This got real heavy. All right.
Yeah.
There's always someone that has it better. There's always someone that has it worse.
Yeah.
It's hard to see that when you're in your spot.
But fair enough.
So they're the Cowboys. Yay!
Yeah,
Cowboys.
so we're going
now.
out to be cowboys.
Dude, it felt like a whole movie passed, but now we're Cowboys.
It really did. Like,
Yeah.
Where we have 2 weeks to be cowboys to get these cattle.
I'm dying.
Go
Go on. Let
somewhere I hear a fly laughing.
Yeah. It's like I puked in your water.
Did you swallow the fly?
No, it's in the kitchen right now.
I don't know why you'd swallow the fly. Sounds
Can you
like
see
you're
it
gonna
flying around
die.
in there?
It's so just flying into the kitchen.
So anyway, also what the hell's going on with this thing here? They say it's not a dude ranch. It is straight up. It's a actual ranch where they have these cows. They need to get them from wherever to wherever, or somewhere to Colorado. Was it?
Yeah.
Or
I think what he means, like, it's not. This isn't like for play. This is for real. Like we really are.
yes.
These cattle really are our livelihood. We really are trying to get them from
Yes.
point A to point
So
B.
why are you entrusting them to a bunch of people that half of which have just learned how to ride horses?
Well, they're
Well,
not. They're
they're-
entrusting
Well,
them
did
to...
you see the staff he had to work with?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, you are not prepared to be
Well,
doing this
like
shit.
in theory, as we see but in the movie, only takes 3 of them to do it, right? In theory,
Yep.
right? So they have those 3, and then just others are just all along for the ride. Really, just along for the ride, and they're to
even
be
their-
tasked with like go find a straggler. That's really it. All the major shit we'll handle.
Yeah.
But even their 3 is like an old man and 2 drunkards.
The most badass old man
This
there
guy
is.
did not-
True, but
He did not invest well.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
the other two guys
like,
suck.
Yeah,
But...
a Cookie, fucking Cookie.
Yeah, Cookie.
Yeah, he's a reliable dude.
hey,
Well, I think the whole group hinged on Curly.
But yeah,
Right.
Like he kept them all in check.
I'm sorry, but Cookie is our number 1 guy.
No, he is our number 1 guy.
I thought he was a fool that got drunk and stole stuff.
No, he is our number 1
Was
guy.
that Jack Palance too, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, all right.
It was indeed.
Nice.
you're making a Tango and Cash reference.
I'm making a Batman reference,
That
Joe.
wasn't Jack
damn it,
Palance.
Joe.
That was
Oh
Jack-
my God.
Jack Nicholson.
Wait.
That was Jack
Oh
Nicholson.
fuck!
That was Bob the Goon.
I never put that together.
But it was, I mean, it was Jack Nicholson that said it to Bob the Goon, but
Yeah.
Jack Palance said it to Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
shit!
That's where he got it from.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, boys. Get on my level.
Can we just watch the first?
I can't believe you guys just got schooled by Rob.
Yeah,
in a
we're gonna
movie.
actually we're gonna pause the episode and
go watch
We're
Batman.
gonna watch Batman.
Can we watch Tim Curry's Batman?
Yes.
Has someone drawn that yet?
No.
He plays every part.
We'll get on that. Yeah.
Including Vicky Vale.
Oh, that
He
would,
would.
be amazing.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
God damn it, I want to see this happen.
Who are you?
All right, stop. So,
I'm Tim Curry's Batman. But he can't say Batman. He just says Tim Curry's Batman the whole time.
So we meet the other characters now.
yeah.
We got Ben and Jerry.
Yeah.
And Ben and Jerry. We got the 2 dentists. We got the
lady.
Just the lady. Is there
Just,
somebody else?
just lady. That's it.
There's supposed to be more ladies, but they all abandoned her.
Right. And then there's 2 drunkard farmhands that are supposed
Yep.
to help with this. Possible rapist? Question mark. Whatever.
I mean-
But yeah, we're just kind of meeting each other, and the 2 drunkards are getting a little too handsy with the lady.
They're like, yo, you ever seen a zebra penis before?
That's not what they
They're
say.
delicious.
It's full of cream.
It's both black and white.
Yeah.
We're gonna use the hitting on her technique of don't give her the option to leave and just wear her down. I think it's the
Scare her
point.
into submission.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
like the, oh, I'm getting it. Like, are you getting it?
on the rig.
So creepy.
So
You want me
thankfully,
to show you how to tie a rope?
thankfully, Vanilla
Those
Ice
like your
shows
lines,
up.
though.
There they are. That's also why I'm single, Brian.
Okay. You keep going with that carroty stuff. So thankfully, Vanilla Ice shows up.
Tell him to choke himself to death. Did you just tell him to do that?
Not to death.
Oh.
Just
For
to
enjoyment.
just to completion. He didn't. Carrot
That's
just
how it
didn't,
starts, though. Every time it gets a little harder to finish.
Carrot just didn't know when to quit.
Yeah, eventually you just.
Have you not seen
pass
BoJack
the
Horseman,
line.
Rob?
I've not.
Oh, that's depressing.
I know. That's why
I mean, it's
stopped.
good, but it's depressing.
I watched like the first 5 episodes, and I was like, you know what? Another time.
Yeah, it's.
Well, it's fine, but I'm just telling you, I gave you that box for a reason.
I watched the first season of that when it came out in the wintertime when I was already in my
don't do
shit.
that.
Oh, it was rough. It was a rough watch.
It's
was
hard
with season
because
3.
you're like,
Anyway.
oh, it's Joe, but he's an anthropomorphic horseman.
You know what the one problem is with BoJack Horseman?
It's not this movie.
Yep. So let's continue. All right. So
I tried, but there seems to be a horse of another stripe coming towards me right now. How's that zebra dong tone?
Tony almost died.
Do you want me to get you a belt?
I'm confused.
Are you
we
gonna
just making
bow
dick
and
jokes,
jack
or is there
that
anything
horse?
else to this?
Tony almost choked on his.
that
Anyway,
I like. I'm confused. Are we just making dick jokes, or is there like an inside joke that I don't know?
Nah, we're pretty much
Joe, take over.
Just
Get us
standard
back on
fare
track.
dick jokes.
Just
Okay.
get us to the
So
movie.
yeah, all right. So these assholes are leaving the lady alone. Billy Crystal comes over, and they're like, "Get the hell out of here!" And then we have Jack Palance show up to save the day. It's Curly. I honestly forgot what he did here.
he
I know he threw a
lassoed
knife at a
the
dude's
dude, threw a
dong.
knife at his balls.
Yeah, speaking of choking, he first lassos the guy and like almost hangs him over this fence, letting him go at the last minute. And then when he's like, you need to apologize, and the guy's not really into it, he throws a knife at his dick. And the guy finally is like, yeah, I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
And you look at Jack Palance, and he's a pretty intense dude. He's just like, I just took my face off and put it back on for fun.
The Crypt Keeper saves the day.
He's like 1,000 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I like Jack Palance, but he does kind of remind me, speaking of the Joker, of when he cut his face off and stapled it back on. It's kind of what he looks like here.
And so Mitch is a little
Or
nervous.
Emperor Snoke?
Snoke.
So Mitch is nervous, so he's like, "Oh, hey, thank you." And Jack Palance is just like, "You can host the Oscars. I'll get the award."
I seem to have some kind of breathing problem throughout all of this.
Well, that comes into play later. But yeah, at some point they're all talking about I believe her name's Bonnie. She's like says hi to Billy Crystal, and he's like, I'm married.
Yeah, she tries to thank him for standing up to them, and she's just like, I'm married.
Yeah, and Ed's
I gotta
giving
go.
him shit for it. So he's like, what was I supposed to say to her? He's like, say like, hey, I like your ass. I'd like to wear it as a hat.
Or you can like not say that.
No. All right. How does one do this?
Well, when she says thank you, you just go, you're welcome.
No, not that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, are you supposed
It's
to
called
actually...
being nice to someone without sexually harassing them.
No, but like, are you supposed to actually like expand the rectum around the top of your head?
Oh, I mean, how does someone wear it
No,
as a
I mean,
hat?
you don't need like a airtight seal here. You just need
Well, I mean,
Like-
Joe, you lose most of your body heat through your head,
Yep.
so you want to keep it warm. You want to
Not
make sure.
in the desert.
Yeah, everywhere you go, you
It
lose
gets
most of
real
your
cold
body.
at night in the desert.
That's fair.
Well, if you're wearing an ass as a hat,
He did have trouble finding a hat.
Mm-hmm.
That was a-
now I don't know. Are you supposed to like clean poopies out?
You're gonna have severe neck issues.
And this is why we're going to be 2 hours long. So let's move past this, please.
Well, if there was anybody there whose ass I was going to wear as a hat,
It's
it would
her.
be Bonnie's.
Yeah, or Norman.
Cookie was second.
I was going for one of the Effet ice cream sales.
No, both of those instant death. Like your neck is done.
You think they buck?
And the guy's gonna be, after it happens, he's gonna be like spoonful of coffee ice cream.
It's the perfect thing to have after you've eaten my asshole.
I haven't eaten it.
I killed you with my girth.
So, Mitch and Ed are having this conversation about how like he did the wrong thing, and talks about commitment and like, are they flirting? Are they not flirting? And yada yada, and so on. All of which really doesn't mean much or amount to much, but it's a recurring thing throughout this movie.
It's all over your microphone.
Damn, I smell it already. Shit. Like,
Yeah, that one's got Lindsay to it.
I smell it.
So after briefly insulting Curly, Mitch just slinks off to bed and tries to forget about it.
Well, it's after Curly walks up behind him.
Yes.
see, I think this movie should end, right?
Now.
Where Mitch realizes that he should just do stand up and be a comedian, because that's how he deals with all his inner frustrations
He
and
just
problems.
needs to find a good hobby.
Yeah, like just do stand up and like, you know, make a career out of that. Like,
I mean, that doesn't work for everybody.
right.
What, am I going to just go do stand up?
Maybe.
No, I'm not that
Have
funny.
you tried?
You're kind of funny.
Not in front of people.
Well, it's because you hate people.
That's not, I think,
See, you can't just say no.
Rob, but you know, Rob has a similar issue to me, like where I think we're reactively funny, but not proactively funny. Like if you're like, "Hey, Rob, make me laugh,"
I would just punch Joe right
Well,
in the dick.
yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do.
but like you know, if I say something stupid, Rob's gonna burn me on it.
Here's
And
the
it's gonna be
thing.
funny.
Here's the
I'm
thing,
like
though.
herpes, I burn after the fact.
Yeah, after.
It might take him a little while to get, like, you know, kind of his first act going. But the minute a heckler shows up, he's going to be on fire. And there are comedians that can make a whole career out of that.
Just doing crowd work.
Why did they call you Syphil, baby? You're gonna find out in about 3 days.
So, stuff happens.
Yeah, so
Oh, this is when Jack Palance tells him that I crap bigger than you.
he sure does. But yeah, we go out on the trail. We're getting some cattle going. They're having a conversation as they go along. I think they let some go, and Jack
Let
Palance
somewhat go.
They kind of, they're not paying enough attention. Some of the cattle wander off, so Jack Palance gives them a hard time about it. Whatever. Then at night they're talking even more.
Full disclosure, I watched this movie several days ago and did not take good notes, so I've only written down choice lines like, if she were a Picasso, she would have 3 tits, but forgot the entire context with which that was
This is a
said.
choice line.
I pretty much
true.
skipped over that entire scene, but basically they were watching her ass as she bounced up and down on a horse.
So,
This is where we get this conversation about, like, would you cheat on your wife if
Oh,
a
yeah.
really hot
Yep.
alien came down or something? And-
what if she was
All
a
right, well-
Picasso? Like, 3 tits, but also, like, sloth face.
Well, I think that was more his point. He was saying, you know, he referred to her as a Picasso, and the guy was like, "Oh, you mean she's really attractive, like a lovely painting?" And he's like, "No, if she was a Picasso, she'd be all jacked up and 3 tits and whatever." I think it's kind of the deal.
All right, well, let's weigh in on that conversation here with the only married person in the room.
See, now, hold on.
Yeah, okay.
If you've been listening
Yep.
to the podcast,
Mhm.
he has said repeatedly a number of times that would, like, you know, that he would use his hall pass on
I like 5 different people. on that.
Wait, I said this?
Yeah,
I'm having trouble remembering this.
So am
but-
I. I think these guys are making things up.
maybe a little bit, but, you know, maybe not.
I think a lot, actually. Not a little bit at
Okay,
all.
so then, like, the hot alien came down.
Okay, so just, all right, let's preface this with the fact that my wife is just in the other room.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right.
doesn't bother us.
All right. So, hot alien.
We're right there.
Red hair. All right. The thing is, no.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. I don't know this, but like,
Because, like, what Mitch says, he's like, I would know.
yeah. Well,
And
there's,
that's
yeah.
what matters.
Right.
And that
That's the
feels
right
horrible.
answer.
That's the right answer.
Like,
I would do it though for the 3-titted Picasso chick, just because. I mean, when are you gonna get an opportunity to do that again?
yeah, but
And,
what,
like,
what if her, like,
What?
her eyes are just like
it'd
both
be
on
different. It'd be,
the same half
you
of
know,
her face?
It's like try something new. You know?
Yeah, Rob, stop being so shallow.
Go on an adventure.
she's got 3 tits. That doesn't mean they're like on her chest.
She might have more than one vagina.
She might.
What are you going to do?
She might at that, Joe. What's your plan here?
This is definitely one of those show up and see what happens kind of
Okay.
plays.
She might have a dick.
Well, maybe she does. I don't know.
She might have a zebra pain, man.
Yeah.
She might be rocking one of those.
Stop being so shallow.
It would be a different and memorable experience. And if it was terrible, you are the only person who would.
All right. That's fine. But as the only married person in the room, yeah, I would know. So I wouldn't be into that. Also, I don't know this chick. She could have space AIDS.
Yeah, it's ice pirates and space herpes.
Well, even
That
still,
thing was fucking horrible.
you can't just go get a cream for space herpes,
No, I think they had to hunt it down with a laser rifle.
which
What?
I cannot afford.
Have you ever seen Ice Pirates? That's a
No.
weird ass movie. Oh,
It's on the list
yeah.
All right.
somewhere.
So, so at this point, we had the Stampede.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stampede.
this one. Yeah, Ed's just a dick to Phil. When he's talking about he loves this woman, so he's not going to mess around with her. And then Phil's just like, so just don't mess around. And then he's like, well, you just committed adultery. And then they talk shit, and then they have a fight, and then Curly throws a bucket of water on them.
Yeah, it's just such bullshit. Because like, it is the obvious answer. Like, I don't want to mess around with her. He's like, then don't. And she's like, oh well, easy for you to say when you just commit. Like, first of all, if you just said you don't, so don't. Second of all, I did because I did. Like, fucking how that works.
Well,
I should have broken up. He should have broken up with his wife first. Got divorced or whatever. But
I mean, the underlying thing
whole
here
story.
is it's not always as cut and dry or as easy as that. Like,
Yeah.
true.
Judging by how this table looks right now, I would say the willpower of all four of us is not the strongest in the world.
I just said I'd do it with a Picasso pen.
Yeah.
Sure did.
And
Roll it up. Like,
I mean, who knows what would happen?
No. Poke a hole in it.
All right.
Like Chunk with the painting and Goonies. Except the hole's somewhere else.
And as we all know, if you do it through a sheet, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
So anyway, yeah. The next morning, Mitch decides to make coffee in his loud, annoying coffee maker. Calls a stampede. It's just cows running everywhere.
Yeah.
It causes a whole problem.
I don't get how this worked because the cows were like, we got to get away from that. And then they did. And then I guess they rallied and they're like, we're going to go fuck that up.
I get, yeah, I don't
They
know.
came right back through the camp and just knocked everything over.
Yeah, I don't.
And then Billy Crystal the whole time, he's still grinding coffee in the tree.
yeah, like what the fuck?
Fucking moron.
Yep.
I was hoping that Curly would like whipped it out of his hand. Like, get this shit out of here.
Just shot it so the coffee fell on the ground.
I'm also not entirely sure how the sudden appearance of a loud, obnoxious noise made all the cows go crazy and cause a stampede, but then the sudden appearance of a loud, obnoxious noise caused them all to stop.
Well, because that came from Jack Palance.
yeah.
Fair enough.
It's a gunshot, and he gave him a hell of a mean look.
Yeah,
The cows were like,
it's
yeah, I
that
don't
mean
want
look.
that.
That's what did it. All right.
So-
But yeah, so a couple cows got away. So he's like, you know what, Mitch? You're coming with me. We're going to go get those strays,
Yeah.
and we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, he gives Mitch the fetch my lube face.
For real.
Mitch is like, I am going to die.
Yeah. He also spouts some line about this being deliverance, and it really could go either way here. Jack Palance is just like giving these looks.
I haven't made my mind up yet.
Yeah.
So they go collect the cows, the stray cows, but now it's like getting dark because Billy Crystal's been farting around too much. He's like messing around with the rope throwing and all this nonsense, and he's just generally being kind of a dumbass. So gets his start.
Just generally being inexperienced, but
Yeah, but he's not really taking it serious. He's like joking his way around it, and it's not.
Well, that's the way he deals with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but,
But
when
yeah,
you
it's
have a
annoying,
fully loaded
Curly.
Jack Palance in your
Yeah.
face, you're gonna drop that. Either way, it starts to get dark out, so they can't return to the rest of the people. They have to like camp together.
Yep.
And so it's dark out. They're all sitting. They're sitting around their little fire, and Billy Crystal's starting to play the harmonica.
Is it fucking snowing?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a bunch of accumulation outside.
Joe, don't crash your car.
It's a rental. I got it fully covered.
There you go.
Holy shit. Snowing at 4 a.m.
I don't think he cares what time it is.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, what the hell happens? Okay, so basically, like Curly's being all scary, sharpening his knife. He's telling Mitch to put his harmonica away. Mitch is like, look, dude, sorry, we got off on the wrong foot. If you're going to murder me, just do it. Otherwise, shut up. I'm going to play my harmonica.
So Jack Palance slices Billy Crystal's throat, and the credits roll.
Yep. All right, and that's City Slickers from 1991. So on Rotten Tomatoes, no,
It really has an abrupt ending.
It really does.
we told you the series got dark, guys.
Anyway, so yeah, Curly's just like, all right, this guy's got some stones, so I'll
He's
sit next to him and
I respect that.
sing with him.
Saying in quotation marks, but yeah.
So now they're bonding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Curly sums up how I feel about Mitch with just, you city folks worry about a lot of shit.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what
All
we
of
do.
life is this.
He's holding up one finger.
Yeah.
He's holding up one finger.
And you got to figure out what that is.
It's the index finger on his right hand. That's what he's holding up.
It's the meaning of life, folks. My index finger.
How interesting would it be if it was the middle finger? Meaning of life is this. All right, so this is when we see there's a
Finger banging
cow
problem.
that's thrashing around on the ground, just about to give birth to a calf.
Yeah, it's a
facing
visual
the wrong
It's a
direction.
visual representation of how I feel after every podcast recording.
Especially the part where Billy Crystal reaches inside you,
Yes.
pulls out another creature.
This is gross as fuck.
Yeah,
It's so gross.
straight up cow vag right on the screen.
I'm suddenly curious about how many of your, after we leave, how many of your bowel movements immediately get up and start walking around.
I need Billy Crystal to come in and get elbows deep.
Not
like he
He has-
loses his watch in there.
He has lost his watch on occasion.
like they gooped up a real baby calf
Yeah.
and like had him pull it out of a fucking dummy. Because that was a real ass calf that came out of that fucker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was,
And true to life, it just gets up and walks.
yeah. I mean, it was already born at that point. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this was not at
Well,
first walk.
no, but cows, like,
Cows,
they
yeah.
literally, like, right when they're born, they just get up and walk.
Yeah,
yes,
all those,
but
like,
I think
four-
the point was,
almost all four.
of course, this one would do it.
Oh, something's gonna kill me. I need to be able to run like immediately.
pretty much.
don't have time
I'm bred to get 8. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't have time for all this nursing bullshit. You need to move.
Yeah, giraffes
Billy-
get their ass dropped like 6 feet and then
For real,
just get
for
up.
real.
Like, I'm okay.
If you don't die in the landing, then you're good.
Billy Crystal, Mitch, he's having a moment. He's like, oh, look what I did. It's so cute. And Curly fucking
Shoots the mama.
takes mom out.
It's like, okay, well,
She's dying. Suffer.
I'm gonna go make a cream cheese and jelly sandwich. Anybody want in on this?
Also, by the way, now Norman's bonded to you, and he's going to think he's people.
He became a people name.
You
Like,
gotta suckle them.
I don't get that. People who name their like pets with people names, it just seems weird to me. Like, granted, I did it as a kid, but like I was dumb as a kid. Now it needs to be like a funny name, like something that, like a pet would have. Like,
Chairman Meow.
yeah, like I'll name a cat Brian. Like, like,
Well, I would, and I did. So there,
I don't know. It seems weird to me.
I beat that cat.
Are you saying animals aren't people?
No, they're not. They're animals.
But people are animals.
Tony, I will punch you in the dick.
Anyway, now we know
a
why
weird
Brian's
turn
abusive
here.
to animals. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, so we have this weird conversation where he's nursing Norman while he's talking to everybody else in the group. They've made it back to the camp, by the way. Yeah, like we see that one of the ice cream guys has the ability to name the perfect flavor for any kind of food.
Which is
Garbage.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nonsense. Like, he just makes up flavors.
Well, that's the thing. He might be totally right, but again, if you're not trying it, how do you know?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
So who cares?
he could be saying anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, granted, this guy does look like he's eaten most foods.
True.
But all right, I would even argue though, like like I said, I'm sure he believes he's right, and maybe for him he is.
Maybe.
But what the hell does that like? What are we doing with our lives? What is happening here?
He's opened 1,400 retail stores to sell ice cream across the country. So he's doing big things with his
And
life.
he's opened 1,400 cans of that ice cream across his lifetime.
Wow.
His palate has gotten him paid. So
Yeah.
No, good for him. Again, I don't need to see it.
I think he can, like, regurgitate little bits of different flavors into his mouth so he can kind of swirl it around.
All right, so I think I already know the answer, but does this guy get like into the Fat Chat Champion Club here?
No.
I mean,
don't
real
think
talk,
so.
it's not hard to get to be
Yeah.
a Fat Chat member. Like it's not.
Yeah.
But like they didn't eat anything in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So I need more proof.
Later on, when the food's in peril, he doesn't make any kind of dive.
Not
or
one
food.
bit.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, so yeah, membership rejected.
Yeah, no, like the little girl in Jurassic Park Lost World. She ate mad
Oh, yeah.
snacks
Yeah.
in 20 minutes. She
Used
ate a
her
whole week's
newfound
worth of
girth to
snacks.
kick a velociraptor
Yeah.
out a window.
Fat Chat right there. Like you're in.
And first Jurassic Park, little Tim, he's going to town on that Jello.
Yeah.
man.
We haven't seen that one
Yeah,
yet though.
we'll save that for.
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rob. Holy shit.
A tear just snuck out.
That was not a tear. That was like, That was like the shittiest face that ever came on my
Holy
face.
shit, I got scared.
I
Yeah,
feel a little bad. I feel like our friendship changed.
We
Right,
haven't
hit
seen
'em where it
Jurassic Park.
hurts.
It's 4:00 in the morning, and we've had better things to do with our time. Just stop.
Wait, what?
Nothing. Anyway,
You're kidding me.
So, yeah, Billy Crystal's like, hey, let's get Curly in on this conversation.
yeah, like I just made friends with Curly. He's a good guy. Let's go. Let's get him over here.
Well, they're talking about baseball versus like
Girl
relationship
life.
conversations.
Yeah.
Fair enough, not girl talk.
But
Yeah.
they used the Lucy defense.
What's the Lucy defense?
The defense that Lucy gives to Schroeder about why Beethoven isn't famous because he's not on bubblegum cards.
Oh, okay.
And they legit use that same defense. They're like, oh, well, relationships, they don't have cards about relationships.
They have magazines about those.
That's true. They have Cosmo with the same 50 hot sex positions to please your man every month.
They renamed
I actually
them.
appreciate that conversation though, because I'm not a sports dude. I used to be, but like not really. I'm not gonna sit there and talk about every stat that someone had, whatever. But like, so I get where she was coming from, that aspect. But like, just because it's not what you do doesn't mean it's not what someone else does. And if they choose to do that to be like their way of connecting with each other, then that's what Phil says.
And I
it makes
totally
total
agree
sense.
with that.
Yeah.
But
Like-
also, what it mainly comes down to is there are those that want to, spend more time talking about their life and things that are going on with it, and then there are those that are like, I don't like my life, or whatever, for whatever reason, I want to avoid life and go into a fantasy world, whether it's talking about baseball stats,
Going
or
to Witcher
comic book
camp.
characters, going to Witcher camp, video games, whatever. It's
Screwing up
escapism.
Picasso.
Yeah. So that's really what it comes down to, is like you and your friends like to talk about what's going on with your lives. Like the three guys over here, we're all like miserable in our lives, so we like to talk about anything else.
I mean, that's a bit
Becoming
much
a
because like you can be a baseball nut and still talk about regular things in your life.
can.
Not,
Oh, yeah,
not
nobody-
escapism.
I don't think
It's
anyone
not,
is-
It's not either or.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is one or the other.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't mean to
just
start all thing. I was just saying that it's silly to me that they used
the losing
the
event.
same argument that is used in Charlie Brown Christmas cartoon.
Either way, the conversation was so riveting that it killed Curly.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was
He
legit
was
like,
just like, no
you,
thanks, I'll
you
die.
city folks worry about too much shit.
He was dead for so long over there, rigor mortis set in, and he's dead standing up.
Are you saying something just because something isn't popular, it's not good? Ugh, I'm gonna die. So yeah.
Billy Crystal Mitch comes over to talk to him, and yeah,
he's dead.
he is ceased
So we
to
bury him real fast.
be.
Uh
The way he would have wanted it.
Yeah, I don't know, somehow. But and we even make a little marker for him. We have a nice little ceremony,
Take
as
his
nice as you
clothes.
can.
Yeah, like, did they do him naked?
Well, they took his coat and his
Yeah,
hat.
I don't think
Was it
he's-
just his coat and his
Yeah,
hat?
I don't think he's
I hope
naked.
so.
I think they took.
I mean, that was a
external
sweet
things
coat
like
and a
that.
sweet hat.
Yes. I'm like, did they bury him without clothes on? Like, what?
Although-
So who took his firearm, or did they bury him with that?
I don't know.
They should have buried it that, right?
Well, I would argue like he didn't take his hat off that whole damn movie. He should have been buried with that shit too.
True story.
He's gonna need
Yeah,
that
oh, you
on the Ripper
really
Styx
should
when he
have buried
runs
him with
into
his
a
hat.
nudist.
Yeah, if you took it off, the only reason would be to put it on that little cross on his grave. That's it.
Yeah, though, yeah.
It'll be there at least till you write it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we have a conversation about Phil, Mitch's, Ed's best and worst days. I liked this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It summed up their characters pretty well.
Yeah.
You feel real bad. So about the best day of his life's day he got married, and talk about the high he felt, and then every day since then has been a tie for his worst day.
But that was. I felt like that wasn't serious, but like it kind of
Yeah.
was. But
Yeah.
his best day was his dad winked at him because him and his dad had a weird relationship. But it was at his wedding. It was a good day.
His worst day was when his uncle winked at him.
Mitch's was a story about his dad bringing him to the Yankees game. That was a great day for him. And Ed's was the day he stood up to his dad for being mean to his mom. Told him to never come back.
Being an abusive, cheating a-hole.
Yeah, he's like, never come back. I'll take care of him from now on. And
What's his worst day?
The same day. Like it was,
Yeah, and Mitch's worst day, we get into a conversation because his worst day is when he thought his wife had breast cancer, but they're like, that's the best day because it ended well and whatever. But yeah.
So what we see while this is happening is that Cookie is hitting the bottle hard.
Hard.
I think he's acting like Curly's death didn't bother him, but yeah.
I think he had a crush.
Oh, is that what you think spurred this on?
I would guess so.
I'm
So it
hoping.
wasn't like Curly's not being around to stop him from drinking so much as it was him like
It could have been that too.
losing a friend.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Because that might be his coping mechanism for problems, and then Curly was always the one that like told him when he needed to stop.
Like, I'd give him that one if the way he was drunk mirrored that, but he was like usually when
You wanted a Karate Kid moment.
like when you're drinking because things shit's on your mind like that, like it comes out while you're drunk still. Like this guy got drunk, pulled his pants down, put a happy face on his butt.
This was like a premeditated drunken rampage.
Yeah, like he started throwing food out of the fucking wagon
Carriage.
when he's the cook. Like, fuck, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Dude, I mean, it wasn't the greatest happy face, but he drew a pretty symmetrical happy face on his own ass.
yeah, if you're not seeing it,
I think he had an accomplice
while moving,
while moving. Yeah,
while moving.
I mean,
was
it
like,
was on par with Bart Simpson's happy face
Yeah.
on his butt.
yeah.
So maybe he was just staring at his own mortality, like caused him to kind of.
He says that in a minute when he's about to go off the cliff.
Yeah, there is that.
So yeah, go ahead.
No, please.
You know, dude just drove around, threw all the food out, and then just fucking like Toon Sister Driving Cat style, just drove the wagon off the cliff.
Now, would the horses do that?
Probably not.
Maybe
I
they couldn't stop.
think
or
in a wagon, I think they would,
what? Yeah.
because I don't think they like because the way they're set in there, I think they just know to go forward. I don't know, because I mean, you can get a horse to do some pretty crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like you know, if you've trained it right, like they've got horses to like ride in the path of charging tanks and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the horse would be more inclined to listen to the person steering the wagon than anything else. I think if a person was riding the horse would be like, nah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But the horse is kind of thinking like, this is where all of us are going, so we're just gonna go that way.
Yeah. that's
So
fair.
the horses die. The wagon's destroyed. They bury the horses.
Cookie broke his legs.
Cookie
the
broke his
horses
leg.
sort of self-bury.
Which that's a whole thing. God damn it.
It's like they impacted most of the work. We just kind of covered them with dirt.
Thanks, Mitch.
Tell you, comedian.
Do you think that that originally was just like a tremor under there and they just buried it?
Oh, maybe. So now it's nighttime again, and the cow hands,
Well, they found
Cow
Cookie's
hands.
alcohol. Also, at this point, the two dentists
ranch
have
hands.
left the what's that?
No, just ranch hands.
Yeah,
Ranch
Mitch
hands.
had cow hands.
The two dentists have left the party to take Cookie to get medical attention.
Yeah.
They were like, this many people is superfluous. Let's
Yeah,
leave.
and yeah,
We have no point in this movie. Let's get out.
yeah. The two cowboys have found Cookie's stash and they're drinking.
Which also I didn't fully understand that. They're like, oh, I found out how he's sneaking his beer in these beer bottles. Wait, what?
He's sneaking it in his tummy.
The old hiding in plain sight trick.
Who would have
Oh,
thought?
he just walked it right in. Okay, I see. Clever.
A bold
yeah.
move.
So they get drunk. They're shooting bottles. Everybody's watching them, I guess, fearfully. And they just get a bug up their ass to be like, you know what? Let's kill a person or an animal or something. So they start threatening Norman.
Sociopath. So it's fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a gun in the calf's mouth.
Yeah, they put a gun in the poor cat. Oh,
And they put some homosexual slurs in their own mouths.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, they talk all kinds of shit at Mitch. Mitch just comes out and he's just like, hey, can you just go sleep? We kind of need you to get the cows.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna
with
go
us.
out there, let them humiliate me for a little bit, and then hopefully they'll just stop. But no, they seem to be, I don't know, they want blood or something.
Yeah, they want to
Yeah.
actually fight him.
So a little brawl breaks out. Some people get punched in the face.
Mitch gets
Yeah,
punched.
just Mitch. Just Mitch.
Well, then
Well-
yeah, Ed runs out and he like channels some Joe Pesci and punches the first drunk cowboy to the ground.
That would be amazing
if he was channeling Joe Pesci.
Well, if he
did that launch.
He channeled it, but he didn't fully commit. He didn't do the full diving crossbody punch
That would have been
thing
amazing.
from My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, and then But then the other guy, I think his name was TR, pulls his gun. So then, Phil comes in here, and Phil's had enough of just life in general. He's letting it all out now. He has like a falling down moment here.
Yeah, he has this whole breakdown.
That's on the list, right? Falling down.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has this whole breakdown of, like he lost his wife. Because of that, he lost his job.
His fault.
He's gonna lose his kids. He lost all his money.
His fault.
Because of his choices. Yes.
His choice he made. That's what happens.
Yeah, but
It doesn't make it less painful for him,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean,
I still have some sympathy for crying out loud.
No.
for Yeardley Smith?
Yeah, like, no.
Well, but I think that's actually what I like about this scene, though, is I'll explain in a minute after we describe what happens.
Well, anyway, he grabs the gun. He starts waving it in this dude's face. And he's just like, you're a bully. I hate bullies. I'm gonna,
Take away your dignity.
yeah, some shit's about to go down here. And just like they crap their pants and run off. Eventually, he lets them go.
Well, yeah, and then when he goes back in the tent, I think that's when he comes to the realization that this pretty much all is his fault, and he did make the wrong choices. And that's when he gets like crazy sad, and he's like, I gotta start over and all that, as his breakdown. But then I think ultimately, that is where his arc turns to, from that point on, he's like, all right, we're gonna be okay.
Yep. Stuff happens. You make bad decisions.
Yep.
You just turn around, you take your lumps, and you move forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good lesson. It's a little scary when he's like waving the gun around when he's deciding all this, but
It's funny when he does it to Kevin McAllister, though.
oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. In fairness, Kevin McAllister hit him in the head with a paint can. So.
Dude, we'll talk about that soon. All right. I'm
Save
sure.
that for another podcast. But so yeah, we find out that these two ranch hands ended up just completely taken off. They left them in the dust. So we're just left with our three amigos here and the lady Bonnie and
Ben and
Jen and
Ben
Barry.
and Jerry. What?
Jen and Barry.
Sure. So they're kind of freaking out. They're like, what do? We don't really know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing.
Ed's like,
We're all gonna
my
die.
moment has come.
We're all gonna die.
This is it. This is the thing he's been searching for. The moment where he can,
Reclaim his manhood.
yeah. He's like, I'll take the herd in.
Yeah.
Phil's like, I literally have nothing to lose. I'll go with you.
Exactly. But Mitch is like, you guys are crazy. I'm gonna take them back, and we're just gonna go home and be safe. And you guys are nuts for doing this. But they go off. They're trying to get the herd together. They're having a hard time with it. When a bunch of the cows are wandering off. When suddenly Mitch shows up, all blazing saddles and whatever, and with his new hat that he stole from Curly.
Look to me at the east at the dawn of the fifth day.
Yeah. So he shows up like a real damn hero.
Yeah, so he just left this Bonnie
Yep.
and these
Bonnie
two
and Ben and
useless
Jerry's, yep.
idiots
To
to
just
fend for
wander off and
themselves.
die somewhere
With no food.
with no food.
Correct.
They can eat Ben or Jerry, one of those
Yeah.
guys. The one that gets the ice cream. He's filled with ice cream.
I'm just picturing the fat guy left riding the horse with the remains of the other two and their horses that he's just feeding off of when he gets back to camp.
Someone draw that.
Somebody drop
And
it.
tell us
Scene
what
out of
flavor of
Cannibals
ice
Music
cream.
Well, that's when they find him. They'll find him around the bodies, and he'll be
Wait.
talking about the ice cream.
Again, quick
flavors.
side note, that was going to be my response when he's like, challenge me, ask me anything, and I'll tell you what ice cream goes with it. I'd be like, when we start starving to death and I eat your ass, what should I have with it? Anyway,
If you're gonna eat my ass, I prefer syrup.
chocolate or strawberry?
Maple. What are you talking about?
Anyway, so yeah, they're just abandoned because they weren't useful for the plot, so they're gone now. The flirting going between Bonnie and Mitch no longer matters.
Really,
Gone.
it was. We couldn't afford that many stunt doubles, so we need to get rid of people that would need them for the next scenes coming up.
So yeah, they reunite. There's a kind of funny scene where they're talking about programming the VCR.
Yeah.
I mean, not really funny now because you don't have VCRs and like all your devices are
Yeah, 90%
easier
of
to
that shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But-
Anyway,
But back in the day.
yeah.
But yeah, it's basically just funny because Ed gets all pissed off because Phil's not getting it. He's like, even the fucking cows get it by now. But we're like, oh, it's starting to get, rainy,
stormy.
and crappy, and yeah, there's some lightning strikes, and
There's a black Stormy.
I was gonna say it like. say it.
So we find out they do come across this river that they were told about. They decide they're going to cross it anyway. Mostly Ed is just like, fuck it. I've come this far.
Like,
Cross.
the whole rest of this movie is like you don't know where the fuck you were going.
Yep.
There's a river. Okay, which way do I go next? You don't fucking know. No one
Lost.
fucking knows. Like, just they'd be lost as fuck.
They're told they're crossing a river.
There's fucking mountain lions and like other
You're thinking of Red Dead again.
things. Bears.
There's one
Warthogs and
cabin.
shit.
There's one cabin with 20 mountain lions around it.
Around it. Yeah.
One hit, your horse is done.
Donzo.
So
Poor
stupid.
horse.
But it's okay if you just sit in the cabin with the door open. They can't come in and get you. You just pick them off.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, you got to go back and play that now.
Oh man.
Get some achievements.
I think they can come in, but like they generally
No,
don't.
they can't.
No?
Nah, believe me.
Because you get to like one shot hit in the head them for an achievement, right?
Yes.
Well,
I
isn't it
believe
pretty
so.
much almost like a quick time? Like it's either you shoot them or they kill you pretty much instantly, right?
Pretty much, yeah, with those
More often
cougars.
than not.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Sorry.
I don't remember what the achievements are.
All right,
I
so
know I have
there's something for killing.
You get
cougars.
a run-of-the-mill
Kill
scene where
cougars.
they
I like
cross the
cougars.
river. Norman, of course, floats away. Billy Crystal has to come in with the save. The buddies have to come in with the save on Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's working together as a team.
yeah.
Rah, rah, rah.
Like,
They
my
have a good
question
laugh
is,
after.
PETA, right?
Yeah.
Like, they use real animals for all these stunts and stuff. Like, there was a real cow in the water.
Yep.
Real calf in the water. Like, going, he was holding a real calf.
Yeah.
Like, how y'all make sure it was safe? Like, that shit looked crazy as
It
fuck.
had pool floaties.
That shit looked crazy as
It
fuck.
probably, well, it's supposed to look crazy as fuck, but it probably was very safe condition.
And there were
it
probably
wasn't a
people
real
right
river.
down the river
Yeah.
that would have grabbed it.
Well, I'm sure it probably wasn't even a real river for that portion. It's like in a pool somewhere, some shit, and like,
Okay.
you know,
I
the
feel
water's
better
not
now.
deep enough for it to drown and everything.
Thank you, Tony. I feel better now. Because I'm like, damn, that's real animals in this shit. Like,
No,
It's just a scuba diver with a
Yeah,
puppet.
there was a, no, there was a-
which I'd have been okay with, but it was like, man, it was like mooing and shit. Like, you know,
They in Japan, they didn't just throw a cow in a box. yeah, cow in a box and toss it off the waterfall.
there was
Those
a
days are over, son.
there was a little person under the water just holding the cow up.
It's entirely possible someone was under there.
Every time they needed it to move, it would just.
There's just
Oh.
Give it
Frank
that.
Welker dubbing over the sounds.
Yeah, it could have been Frank Welker. By the
we
way.
should check the cast to make sure.
I don't want to know.
All right, so now they bring the cows into the ranch. Yay!
Yeah,
Like, how they fucking, like, just, whatever.
movie magic.
Yeah, movie magic.
How did they know where they were going? How did the others know where they were going? How did Cookie
Probably
get
the
back there?
cows just somehow knew where to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that is entirely possible. If they do that back and forth all the
Yeah.
time, that
Yeah,
is
but how
entirely
did Bonnie get there and shit?
Because
Well, once they got to like cars and whatnot.
How'd they get there?
like Cookie
they
obviously
would-
was there, so
Yeah.
one of
No, because if you're not driving cows, you can go so much faster on a horse.
Or over roads.
Yeah.
Because they
No, I get all that, but like Bonnie and Ben and Jerry just went off forward because that's where they thought they were gonna go.
you can smell cooking at the
They-
ranch.
The ranch was like an hour away.
Yeah, it really was. It was super
They
close.
probably were just like
That's very
real
possible.
close. There
Probably
was
just
just
like
a river.
right across the state border.
Yeah.
But also, if they do this all the time, there are probably trails there. It's not,
Didn't look like it, but maybe.
I mean, I know they're crossing country, but it's not 1902. Like,
No, I
there-
understand.
there's
This isn't the
roads and
Oregon
crap.
Trail.
It's not.
No one died of dysentery.
We don't know what killed Curly.
You didn't get enough
true.
food to feed your whole party. One of you dies.
All right, then we get this pseudo sad moment where they're surprised to find out that the cows are destined to be hamburgers.
Yep.
And I'm like motherfuckers, you still, you got no problems eating them. Like, why are you so sad?
When I grow up, I'm going to Bovine University.
But yeah, they spent time with them. They feel kind of connection or whatever. They did all
of
this
course.
work to save them and the river and everything. So
What did they think was going to happen to them, though?
Well, they probably thought they were dairy cows.
yeah, they thought they were just doing this
You
every
still eat the
year.
dairy cows after a certain
True,
point.
but
Yeah, but not right when you bring them back.
yeah.
But the farmer's like, all right, well, my my trail lead died.
Yeah.
My other two ranch hands ran off.
they're MIA.
My cook is disabled. Two of my horses are dead. I don't have any food or
His
provisions.
wagon's destroyed.
The wagon is destroyed. I got no money. You guys broke me. He broke me on this trip. I gotta sell these cows, man.
So yeah, they're a little, a little sadful about it. Sad.
Yeah, they
Sadful.
were sadful.
Sure.
Whatever.
Mitch is like, not Norman. Went through too much
Not
shit
my
with that
baby.
cow.
Yeah.
Plus the farmer's like, and I'm not charging you guys for this trip. Not because you're awesome. I just don't want this on the books.
His
man."
wife's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she was not. Please.
How are we going to eat this winter? We're going to
Cows,
die.
man.
He's like, I don't want y'all to sue me because you got threatened
that's
and
probably
left
what
for
This
dead.
never happened.
They were left for dead for real. Like,
It's like, I'm going to kill everything I'm legally able to that remembers this trip and bribe the rest.
I can give you a refund just as soon as you sign here. Don't bother reading it.
Yeah.
Just put your name.
Made y'all a bunch of roofie coladas.
yeah, if you want to find out if your money got stolen from us, just sign here that says you can't sue us if it was stolen. Here you go.
And then just let me know if this rag smells like chloroform to you.
Let's all have some absinthe and just chill for a while.
So we're kind of having a wrap up conversation where Mitch tells him he knows what the one thing is, and that's that they need to figure out what their one thing is, but he knows what his one thing is. Yeah, blah 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 one. So we all fly back home, where he's greeted by his wife and his kids.
Which is one thing.
Is it though?
Well, it's framed in such a way. Where
Family.
Yes. It's meant
Yeah.
to be his one thing.
I gather that the one thing, as we are about to find out, is Norman, the cow.
Norman's part of his family now.
Yeah.
It turns out it's just a Finger 11 song.
Huh?
Are you talking about, was that one Paralyze?
No.
Finger bang?
Yes.
Girl, oh girl, you so girl, yeah girl.
Okay,
Did I
Anyway,
get the band wrong?
I think so.
Finger 11's the one that's, yeah, they have the song, I think it's called Paralyzer.
I don't know. Is that like...
They
is that
sound like a
what
pop version
But-
of Disturbed.
I think he's trying to think of the band that had the song "One Thing."
Is that like one
Or
step up
something
from
like
a shocker, the
that?
paralyzer? Is that like
Yeah,
one?
no, yeah.
It's slightly different from the Shocker.
So anyway,
I'm trying to look.
It involves Billy Crystal losing his watch.
Billy
He never
Crystal.
got that back, did he?
No, he didn't.
Billy Crystal now, he's back with his wife and his kids. He's
Yep.
feeling better. He found his smile.
Oh, Phil got with Bonnie and
Because of fucking
'cause.
reasons.
well, he's like, what the hell else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Sure.
Her character didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay.
She had 3 lines the whole movie. Her character didn't matter.
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm gonna go put a baby in this, and they take off. Yeah, and that's pretty much all of it. We just
Well, the family meets Norman, and I don't think Mitch fully understands how much crap that calf is going to leave in his van
yeah.
and den.
Yeah, he plans on taking it back to his apartment on the something floor. Like that's
Pretty
not-
sure he's violating some building codes.
Oh, for sure. And there's no way you're sneaking that cow in there.
I mean, I believe they did address that in City Slickers too, where he moved to a more rural neighborhood
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, they have like a big sprawling
Yeah.
ranch or
and
something.
he went jogging with Norman in the beginning.
Any of that shit, but all right. But yeah, we just kind of see them driving home with the cow hanging its head out
It's
the window. It is cute. Although the cow would probably get really sick. But that's the end of it. That's City Slickers from 1991.
yeah! Oh, sorry.
So on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave City Slickers a whopping score of 90%. Audience gave this a score of 64%.
Really?
Wow.
Really? Although they gave it
Wait, what was the critic score again? It's 90.
$180 million worth of shit. Critic score was 90%.
Okay.
Audience score was 64.
Mm-hmm.
But what about your score or personal opinion, possible recommendation, or whatever? So have you, Rob?
I feel both of those numbers are off. I mean, I would put this in the like 75 to 80.
Like
I
average the
think.
two numbers together.
Yeah, like I mean, it's a watchable movie. Like I enjoyed it, but it's not like I'm not blown away. Like maybe the critics were going for it mostly because of like the deeper parts, like the deep conversations that are had. Maybe they found something in there. But other than that, it's like it's trying to be a feel good movie, but at times it's like super depressing. So I don't know. It was enjoyable. So yeah, I'll recommend it.
Joe.
So I'm going to recommend it as well, even though I didn't identify with the movie very well. And I can't say there's any scenes that I'm like, I need to see that scene again. So I don't think I'll ever really watch it again. But It's not a bad movie. It's just not my kind of movie, but I think it was well done. I liked the three main characters. I thought Jack Palance was real cool. Got to see a cow birth and, more cow vag than I ever thought I really wanted to see in a movie. But yeah, we did have parts where it made me laugh. So yeah, I will give it a recommend.
Brian.
I like this movie. I still like it. I mean, it's for different reasons now that I'm an adult. It resonates much differently for me now. Being I'm about the same age as the characters in this movie, and still trying to find some direction on what I'm trying to do. So kind of resonates a little bit. But I still laughed a lot. I still found it funny. Like I would definitely recommend it. I give it a solid B. I wouldn't give it an A minus the way they did, but I give it a solid B. It's not one I'm gonna watch like. Me watch it again next week, like no, but like if it comes on, I'm watching it. Like,
yeah. I like Rob's assertion of the average the two scores together, somewhere in the 70s. I think would be right.
But so you would
yes,
check it out. All right.
Yeah,
6 times.
So yeah, I'm a bit torn. I guess I'm kind of with you guys, although I'm leaning more towards like a C+, just because I feel like this probably should have been Daniel Stern's movie or Phil's, because like he has the most going on with all this. Like he's say what you will about him causing this, because he does. He causes his own destruction, but like he's got the most happening here, like with going from having a wife and kids and a job to having nothing, to going out on this trail, learning about himself and finding himself anew and starting over with a new lady friend and whatever. Whereas like Mitch is almost his side character, or should have been, even though they put most of the romance around him weirdly. So that's a little clunky, but it's not, it's not offensive. It's totally harmless movie. It's fun enough. So yeah, if you're interested, give it a watch. But yeah, it's not one I'm eager to throw in again.
Oh, I find it interesting, like that. You would say like it's like not Mitch's movie, whatever, because like Mitch is the middle and his friends are his side because they're opposite choices.
Yep.
Like Mitch is kind of just going with what's happened in his life, whereas Phil, he made a choice to cheat to try and find happiness somewhere else. Like, and that's what happens when you do this choice. And Ed was like, he was the guy that was free spirited. He's like, I made a choice to settle down. And I was kind of not really feeling it. Like, so it's about the choice that they make.
And Phil's feeling the pressure from making a bad choice very early on in his life, and then Ed has been running away from having to make a choice his whole life.
Yeah.
But that's, I get what you're saying, but that's kind of my point is that Mitch is very much the middle ground, which I don't feel is all that as interesting.
Well,
because there's not as much going on there, because he is very middle ground.
And that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely feel that's fair. I'm not trying to knock your opinion or whatever.
Yeah, I think, because all 3 of the characters get a full story arc. Like, nobody doesn't get a full
Some sort of
character arc to
Yeah.
themselves. So I think maybe if they focused
I
on...
think the dentist's son, he didn't get a full
He
story
really
arc.
didn't. Well, he did.
He did.
Because at the end, he's like, I want to go back on the trail with
Cookie
my
didn't,
dad.
No, Cookie,
Cookie learned his lesson by breaking
Yeah.
his damn leg, as he should have. Those horses didn't get a full story. This just ran away and died.
someone didn't get a full story arc. But you got to go way down the cast list to find that
No,
person.
Bonnie definitely didn't. She got shafted by this whole movie.
Not yet.
No, I just...
By the whole movie, not by Phil.
That happened on the plane ride.
I
and
think Mitch
back.
was the main character because he was the most easily accessible out of the 3
I
for
get
the
it.
audience member. Like, I think if they went with either Ed or Phil, it would have been like too much to try and like focus on to make the movie
It would have
about.
lost me immediately. I'd have been like, because I've been like, you made that choice, dude. I'm
Right,
not like
yeah.
no sympathy.
Because they need to make him a side character in order to make him a likable character. Like,
Sure.
What was his character in Home Alone? Daniel Stern. Was he Marv or was
he was Marv.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna focus a movie around Marv when you got Miracle Max on the cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that's the catchphrase.
Is that a thing?
That was a catchphrase.
I know it was a thing after this movie. But was that a thing with him before?
Oh, I have no idea.
Anyway, moving on from there. What else do we have for the people, Brian?
So next week we gonna do our Christmas special.
Oh, God.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that time again.
Yeah, it sure is. Now, it'll be a little bit after Christmas when it comes out, but you guys get the point.
We'll see how
Christmas time
motivated
still.
I feel.
Yeah.
So it'll be well after Christmas. When
That's right.
But we're going to watch Daniel Stern again in Home Alone.
Yeah.
oh,
Hopefully we'll have a special guest with us this time, too, you know?
Yeah, Joe Pesci's going to be on the show.
It's like his fifth appearance on the show, something like that.
Yeah, he'll be our special
He's
guest.
coming as Predator Joe Pesci.
so
I got heat vision now.
do we? Jesus. Do we induct him as a Fat Chat member just from being on so much? Or does he need to eat?
No, he's
more?
gotta eat
No, he's got to.
Yeah,
He's got to
yeah,
prove
he's
himself.
anything.
You don't.
Yeah, and I felt a little weird asking it, and
You don't get an honorary degree from Fat Chat University.
I think
you
I
earned
may-
that shit.
I mainly got distracted because I wasn't thinking about Predator Joe Pesci. I was thinking about Diabetes Joe Pesci, where he comes in a turtle costume and gives us snacks.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I want him to be our mascot.
I watched Home Alone this past week, and Macaulay Culkin's getting a Fat Chat membership for that.
Yeah, I'm remembering now. He
Oh, yeah.
had some pretty innovative things he was
He
building.
eats some stuff.
Did you see Macaulay Culkin put out a little vine where he's driving in a car with a friend of his, and his friend's like, he's like, you don't understand what I went through. I mean, like, 8-year-old kid left at home while his parents forgot him. They didn't forget his older brother. They brought him. Like he's like going nuts. He's like traumatizing. They had home invaders come in. It was traumatizing. Like, it was kind of funny. He's all like cracked out looking like.
I did see that. Yes, because he was cracked.
Oh, that's
Although
just Macaulay Culkin.
cracked
I
out.
will also remember though that he does in fact gets in a lot of trouble at the beginning of that movie because he's about to fight his brother for eating a cheese pizza that was supposed to be his. So
Yeah, I mean, we'll
Yeah.
talk about this. We'll talk about
anyway, all right, what else we got for the people?
It was a
Rob?
cute 8-year-old. Cutest 8-year-old.
it. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a lot of that. Oh, guys, we want to thank you so very much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please check out our website at 4ampodcast.podbean.com and consider subscribing to a new episode every week. Please help spread the word about the show by leaving a positive review on iTunes and liking us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. You can find us there at 4am Podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can email us any old time at the 4am Podcast @gmail.com.
All right, so thank you for joining us. We hope you join us once again next week for our holiday special with Home Alone. Until then,
Deuces.
If you traded it all, something falls away.
Hello.
good night.
Move.
One thing, that means something.
Wow, that's really loud. I'm
Take your prize are done.
Did we record that?
yes.
Okay.